Good morning, everybody. For today's video, I just wanted to quickly share a nice setup hint with you that is going to make your code a lot more readable, maintainable, and yeah, overall more pretty or prettier. So yeah, what we're going to talk about is the plugin Prettier, which is probably, yeah, it's agnostic to what code editor you use. I use VS Code, so if you use that, you can follow the exact same steps to enable it. But if you're using any other ones, you should be able to find out how that works pretty easily. Here in VS Code, you can simply go to the extensions tab and then type in Prettier, what I already did, and then you're gonna see this here and click on install. Yeah, it's probably here. I already installed it, but you can yeah, install it, and then it should be working. There's maybe two things. The settings, which I'm going to show in a second, and then also you want to install Prettier as a dependency, as a dev dependency in the project that you're working on. So you would go yarn install -d and then Prettier, or npm install -d Prettier. Okay, and then this should be working. Now, out of the box, there is probably not much that will change because we have to adapt the settings a little bit. So I'm just going to show you the settings. So you can, there's different ways of adjusting Prettier. You can use a Prettier RC file in your project on the root level. Works perfectly fine, and especially if your team has different, well, if the developers in your team have different code editors, then this might be a good way to go. Other than that, you can use the workspace settings, right? Sorry. Workspace settings and put the settings in here. Or if it's just for you, then I would advise you to use the user settings to have a baseline so that all of your projects that we work on will use the same settings. So I'm going to open the settings to show you what I have configured. These are all Prettier settings. So you can go to sorry. You can go ahead, Prettier, go here, and then probably there's a section with all the different options. Okay, there we go. All the different options, right? I already gathered these and adjusted them to my liking. But feel free to do whatever you want with it. And Prettier doesn't have too many configuration options because they say it's better for a lot of code bases to look somewhat the same and just give a little bit of configuration options. What is very important though is that you also define those. Well, this one is not, well, it's kind of important because it has to match Prettier, otherwise the Prettier is going to format your code and then maybe your code editor is going to have problems, although I think VS Code should detect the tab size automatically. But yeah, just to make sure, just keep them the same. And then for me, the most important thing is to format and save. So whenever I go to a file and save it, right, it's gonna, so let's say I have it like so, and then I could go ahead and run Prettier on this. Well, okay, it's not even saying it. It's probably format document. Yeah, exactly. But I like to have it just when I save it. So I press Command S to save it, that it automatically formats the file for me, right? So this is that setting. I would advise you to turn that on. And then also you probably want to tell VS Code that Prettier is your default formatter for, well, all files in general that Prettier supports, but then more specifically JavaScript and JavaScript React, if that's the files that you work in the most. Probably gonna get away without those, but there again, just to make sure, have those in there. And then, yeah, as I said, once you get going with the code, and you have a lot of space or whatnot, if you press Command S or Control S, or save that file however you want, then it's going to get formatted, which is quite nice, and it's going to help you a lot with structuring your code and just in general being able to read code and yeah, maintain code. Also having a consistent style in a team if you work in a team. So yeah, highly recommend it. Let me know what you think about it, and yeah, see you in the next one.